Thank you. Thank you very much for inviting me to Virginia Tech. It's first time to be here, but it's amazing campus. So many interdisciplinary students and the programs and the people working. Also, there's a program about the creativity and also design and art, architecture, computer science. So today, I'd like to talk about the new kind of the design research, starting from the vision, not the problems, not the needs, not the speculations, not the sci-fi like stuff. It's very unique one. But I'd like to show the examples and of this vision-driven research in the past 30 years at MIT Media Lab. So first of all, we love technology, but the technology gets obsolete in 1 year, then go to landfill. Even your smartphone still usable, you buy new one. Unfortunately, technology keeps disappearing. Also, needs change dramatically. Value system change, like a shared culture. Then people do not own anymore, sharing a car or a hotel, for example. So, but also dramatically change every 10 years. But the real vision, profound vision, may casting light to the futures beyond our lifespan. So basically, many people do time research using AI, LLM. It's nice, but how to make timeless? I was in Firenze this June, and I'm so impressed why I'm so moved. So many people come for Da Vinci, Michelangelo, and all the architecture. So they are still lasting, impacting, influencing all of us beyond 500 years. So how to really do the timeless research? Then on site, you have to really focus on the vision, not current needs or current technology. So that's the kind of point. And how many people know human augmentation? Also, I had so many about human-centered and user-centered. And the last evening, we have a very good discussion. What does it mean? Who is a human? Who we are talking about? Are you really centered or augmenting, supporting? Then, how many people know Marshall McLuhan? Oh my gosh. Okay, only one or two or three? Oh my gosh. You have to really put in the must read. But Marshall McLuhan is an amazing philosopher. First, Doug Engelbart is my hero. He really inspired me so much. That's the reason I'm here. And he's a real genius. I'm not, but I try to really dance on the hands of the like a Buddha called Doug Engelbart. He did an amazing intelligence augmentation. Even in the 60s, when mainframe computer was used to calculate trajectory of missile, killing an enemy, he came up with a vision that computers and the network can be unite bunch of the people to deal with societal problem, like environmental issue. His vision is far ahead of the time, so I really admire him. But also Marshall McLuhan, he said, every augmentation is also the amputation. So you are in a university, having a critical constructive view is so important. If we say, oh, user-centered, human-centered, human augmentation, everybody, okay, better future. Those are kind of too naive, superficial pie in the sky. To facing reality is very important. So what we are amputating, what we are losing, basically it's altering. Technology alters human. Then you lose something, you gain something. And you have to really understand this balanced view. That's also another part of the kind of stuff. But the time is limited, only 1 hour. So I'd like to go quickly. How many people do design thinking? It's very powerful, starting IDEO and Stanford D School, and now everywhere. It's ubiquitous, but finding real problems, starting to solve, it's very powerful to do the good product design or to get a job in a design firm. But this is starting from problem. Speculative design. How many people use speculative design? Critical. Anthony Liu and Fiona Levy are the hero and the heroine for all of us Media Lab. It's very, very interesting conceptual design, but they do not really try to solve specific problem, but speculate and explore. That's very, very powerful. And also, I like all this kind of future, probable, plausible, and possible. But we want to build it. We want to prove it. So vision-driven design, we don't go in detail, but we really believe that currently many research start very utilitarian task, users, performance, satisfaction, statistically significant stuff. But there aren't so much room to coming up bold, crazy vision, like tangent bits, radical atoms. That's the reason many papers got rejected by mainstream conference, but who cares? And after 10 years, I don't care. So, but the most important thing is visions, not goals. How many people know Alan Kay? You should know Alan Kay. Howard Rheingold has a book, M.I.T. Press, Tools for Thoughts. Tools for Thoughts. It's a very good book showing that all the pioneer. You now enjoy internet, smartphone, and the GUI or computer, but you owe to all the pioneer. Also, it took many, many years. So they shapes that today's digital landscape. So we can't thank enough to all these pioneer, Alan Kay, Doug Engelbart, Barnaba Bush, so many heroes. So it's good to study about the history, because you have to be mentioned in 100 years in this class as a pioneer to shape the future. So important thing, projecting towards the future, you have to know who's a pioneer in the past, like Alan Kay. So vision, not the goal. Suggest focus on romantic, this is important, romantic and the long-term and the non-specific future state, rather than immediate short-term objective, as a key to fostering true innovation. He argued that powerful long-term vision acts as a magnetic field from the future, attracting good people, like ARPA, for example. Then all the great people otherwise become a short-sighted incremental research. Incremental research is okay to get the paper accepted, go to Chi or SIGGRAPH or wherever, because you have to have a publication to survive, to get PhD or get academic council for 10-year stuff. But people said, if people start counting the number of the paper, you're already dead. Because real stuff, Marvin Minsky said, you need only one paper which influence impact, lasting impact. So it's not a quantity of the paper, but the impact. And so 1994, I was invited to the conference called Vanguard Conference by Alan Kay. Then Nicolas Negroponte and Alan Kay was a board member. Then when I finished my talk, in a coffee break, they came to me and asked me to come to MIT. So I was headhunted. Originally, I thought PhD, and but now, not you have to teach. So that's dramatic, because I never lived in US. I never taught in a university in the US. So it's kind of a very challenging experiences. But I graduated NTT, is a telecommunication company, after 17 years of the work, then went to MIT 1995. But he has very, very crazy requirements. Reboot. You know, reboot means don't continue any work I've done before to come to MIT. You have to restart, completely new stuff. That's a real challenge. And he thought I'm crazy and creative, so you can do it. Also, he said, enjoy. This is luxury to reboot, starting. So most people continue the same line of research of the PhD and the assistant professor, associate or tenure stuff. That's also fine. But also rebooting is something very, very important advice. But in the end, MIT media, not so many people follow his advice. Maybe I'm one of the outlier. So then today I talk about the visions. So in NTT, we did a seamless media design, like a ClearBoard. I show briefly. Then he asked me reboot. So I decided to do the fundamental research of HCI called Tangible. Then it evolved to radical atoms. This is a research to explore how to represent the idea, information. That's so important. If it's a mathematical equation, you can apply all the theoretical, analytical operators. If you draw on the large whiteboard, you can spatially move them, then aggregate. It's a different operator. But the representation is bound to specific limited number of operators. So providing a new representation of idea is really important. That's the reason I start tangible, physical stuff. Could be very great, blah, blah, blah. But also some constraints that we went to radical atoms. But also still I really love human-human communication, interaction, collaboration, mediated by technology. That's the reason we continue. Tangible Telepresence, also later I show it. But then COVID-19 crisis hit the world. Then many people died, even they can't really hug the loved one in a deathbed, for example. Then we came up last most crazy vision called TeleAbsence, which actually Ada is one of the collaborators. We wrote a paper together, and thanks for your contribution. So this presence of absence, TeleAbsence, is my final vision-driven project. I talked in the end, but the important thing is what? Coming up with vision is important. You can make memory more bigger or battery longer. This is very important. You need a longer battery. But if you include 3% of lifespan today, next year somebody material science come up another lithium whatever material, then go. So you never make an impact. You never be remembered as an inventor of the vision concept to store energy into the materials. Then you can reuse with that wire. So important things, it's your choice. Engineering is very important, improve, minor, incremental, but it's very important versus make a jump. So he did Being Digital. How many people read the book Being Digital? Oh, great, it's a Bible. I encourage you faculty to put it in a must read. It's a classic, but you can really see the power of the vision. Then now people hype DX, but he's a real origin. Then he started the Media Lab. Digital convergence scared all the people because printing, communication, computing, all sinking under the water like Atlantis. The new continent fundamentally based on digital emerges. Many people were fear, bit like a current AI. Am I missing a bandwagon of the AI or DX or metaverse, for example? So anyway, it's a good idea to go to the. Then I have to do something opposite. So I started being tangible because we're tangible being. And Nicholas hates facts. It's a tangible, physical. But I started doing opposite stuff, but I'm going to talk today. So important thing, you have a very sharp, clear edge of what you're doing. Also, you need a metaphor, symbol. How many people can use abacus? Oh, good. Okay, even MIT, many Chinese students don't learn anymore of the abacus. Which country are you from? Oh, great. Anyway, abacus is very powerful because all the digits are represented as a beads, mechanical beads. You can touch it, so that's the one representation. But the important thing is affordance. If you grab abacus, shake abacus, become musical instrument, percussion. Then also you have kids that you can imaginary train. Then you can itch back. Basically, you can scratch the back. It's affordance because body, object. So those are not really hidden into the silicon chip, like Intel Inside, or not Apple designer or Meta engineer encoded. You can do qualitative reasoning, seeing the transparent structure model, bit like Leonardo da Vinci's model of the machine exhibited in Milano. You can really infer. That's the beauty of transparency we lost in the black box. So I want to defy. So I use the abacus as a metaphor to talk. So when you come up PhD thesis or vision, you should find what's the abacus equivalent of representation, symbolic representation. That's very important. If you can't really abstract, you have to have a very long explanation, then you're half dead. So important things, how to let people remember. And actually, this is me, 2 years old. So I joke that I already knew tangible bits when I was 2 years old. And of course, it's not true. But the important things are physical representation of knowledge is powerful. Before era of the invention of digital computers, everything was physical. How many people went to historic scientific instruments museum? Good. In Harvard has a good one, London, Paris, and you should really visit it. Because you take it for bits, digital, granted. But before our era, our ancestors had amazing craftsmanship, beautiful physical artifact, represent movement of the planets around the sun. Then what's lost being a simulation on the computer screen? That's the beginning of the question. Then also all the people can get used to the classroom. Then you can read the gaze of your students or teachers. And is there any screen over there? Oh, that's great. Yeah, you can look at both either way. But my point is also pointing, gaze, all coherently interpretable. But currently Zoom, it's a cubistic painting. Even have no idea are you really attending my talk or doing eBay stuff or email or also no eye contact. So another important thing is interface. So this is a crank which couple your body into the solar system. Then if you rotate your muscle, nervous system scream, but in sync with the movement of Jupiter, Mars around Sun. That is engagement. Does it happen in current interface, flicking or pointing? Oh, no, yeah, that's true. So that's a problem. So many things you can learn visiting a historic scientific instruments museum, but also walking campus. I learned several things. I talked to Ara. So please open your eyes, then observing the hint of the new research or potential issue. I love painting, sculpting. Also, I'm a calligrapher. How many people do calligraphy? Oh, not so many people. Great. Calligraphy is very powerful because it captures the motion of the body, dance. Even deceased calligrapher's body can be clearly imagined. So this is a great example. So later I talk about aerobrush. That's one important invention of engaging people for painting, writing. Also sculpting, sandscape. This is an exhibit in Arquitectonica. How many people went to Arquitectonica? If you do mediates, interactive art, Arquitectonica, Linz, Austria is a mecca. It's the biggest gathering. So you should really give a shot to exhibit your work. So this is one of the most my favorite picture because sandscape was invented 30 years ago, but we recreated for opening of the M.I.T. museum. Then kids love it, just hand. And Ara, you play this one. But how many people saw this kind of stuff? There are a lot of copy, even commercial products everywhere, which I'm very happy. And but the kids really captivated about the sound, then interaction stuff, because tangible, engaging. Even she doesn't understand landscape design, she really enjoyed. Most other stuff is frozen atoms and just screen. So how to engage is body, materials, interaction loop is important. I'm an interaction designer, so how to make meaningful interaction through which people can get inspired, learn something is very important. Not just beauty. And yeah, exhibition is running. We just started the Radical Atoms exhibition, including soundscape, inform, transform. You have a chance to come to M.I.T. Please drop by M.I.T. Museum, third floor. You can really see the live stuff. Also, if you grab me, I can do live demo. And public exhibition is something so important. Also, Radical Atoms is a new vision after Tangible, but very abstract. And there are almost no hope to write a paper in Kai because Kai need a task users evaluation. But this is a new vision. But Arquitectonica kindly picked this as a banner of entire festival. So 3,000 or 5,000 people work under this concept. Let's become the alchemist over time, transforming base material into gold. Hope it makes sense. You use the material. Usually crayon or compass your parents give, or school gives, or Adobe give you the creative stuff. Then every curve, like a Bezier curve, same mathematical stuff. But if you invent new representation, new materials, then you do first artwork. That's a way we try to make a new material for artistic expression, communication, and design. So this subtitle, Alchemist over Time, sounds very important. This Gerfried Stocker, the director of Arquitecture, came up with. Then we have a huge exhibition. It's nice showing all of these pieces. Also, I brought all my students. Students got excited because so many people beyond academic community. So now let me go to the tangible bits. This is up. So you turn on the light of the IO bulb, then shadow. But the shadow is not optical, but digital. This was done 1998, so almost 30 years ago. And then you can cast now okay, where is my cursor? You can see that the shadow is moving. This clock is a position of the sun you are changing. So now changing a material to the glass, then you see the reflection. Reflection also hits the eyes of drivers. Then you can also Navier-Stokes. How many people love Navier-Stokes equation? How many people love Navier-Stokes equation? Free dynamics. It's beautiful, you know. So boundary condition changes. It's a wind, and if traffic, how they flow. Also, in the worst case, if terrorist is a biochemical weapon, how you can help people to evacuate. So, but the important thing, you can just move, then explore. If you make a beautiful visualization, video, animation in a VR, no room to change, try it. Most important, what if? What building is a bit taller, shorter, or a bit left? What would happen? That's very important for the people living in the city, should be able to explore. And, but usually developers make a perfect, complete video. No room to try it out. That's a problem. And so also Sandscape is another landscape design tools. And we used to play in the sandbox. Then actually I show the M.I.T museum, but this is the Architecture. People speaking in Deutsch. Sprechen Sie Deutsch? Anybody speak German? Okay, great. But now you see the water drainage vector. Color shows the speed, which informs the erosion. Also, elevation, amount of sunlight each slope gets, so you can decide which flower, trees can survive or not. So these are left side brain inform, but also beauty of the scenic slope is more aesthetics of right side brain. So tangibles enable tangible interaction for aesthetics, but also the analysis to make stuff reasonable. The InTouch is an important system for telecommunication. This is also 30 years old, and two these devices are synchronized. Concept is physically distributed synchronized object, but they are connected by the mathematical spring. So your partner rotates the roller in opposite direction. You feel the force. Then bidirectional communication. Telephone through the touch. Have you ever seen this piece? Have you ever tried? You tried. I also brought this to CSCW 90, but you might be not born. And I met Doug Engelbart over that conference. But this is something it's interesting because Zoom, I can see you, I can hear you, but where you are, you can't hug baby. You can't encourage your grandma who are struggling with the stuff because no social touch. Social touch is very important if it's appropriate relationship, but nothing with glass, only pixel and the sound. That's a problem of the also later talk about loneliness and the depression. Then IO brush. Okay, let's go. In the era of Renaissance, painters was also pigment makers. If they need a purple, they went to seashore, collecting purple seashells, make their own pigments. In Asia, they might go to the field, collecting flowers or trees. So if you go to Whole Foods markets, you can't hear? It's okay? Okay. So what I'm talking about? Yeah, important things, world as a palette is a Kimiko Ryokai's PhD thesis, but also you can see teddy bear from which this color came from. From where it came from is very, very important. Also where it goes from an environmental point of view. But this is an important spike that kids didn't listen to M.I.T professor or Kimiko Ryokai, or then just she came up her own interpretation of the. So that's the best moment as an interaction designer because kids are much smarter. There's a future. They interpret in a new way and are so happy. So how many opportunities you may have in your PhD thesis? Something very predictable, incremental. Of course, well, you have to prove it. Of course, it's obvious, but you prove scientifically, then get the paper accepted. But isn't boring? I don't say boring, but I feel boring. Anyway, so then also, how many people do computer music, electric music? No? If you go to a concert of the computer music, you see the musician bring notebook computers, then over distance. This is a new interface. This blue icon, physical icon, represents microphone conceptually. Then distance with other source of the sound shows the volume. But also each source can be manipulated by 4 hands because 2 musicians working together, then projecting this image to the screen. So video jockey show random stuff. It's not relevant, but now people understand the causality chain. Problem is a black box. Computer music, you have no idea what's happening. From internet or machine or everything pre-recorded because people just using notebook computers. But as a classic concert, jazz, you see trained body of the musician, acoustic instruments, then you hear sound, you clearly understand the causality. You're working so hard. So I'm very impressed. But so how to bring those kind of transparency? Then we are lucky. We presented in the 9. Then Sergio Joda in Barcelona guy, his team productized React table. How many people know React table? How many people does music? I know Nicholas uses music. Yes. How many people does music? Music is very important as an expression, also dance. I encourage you to dance if it's appropriate. Also, I play ping pong. See, how many people play ping pong? How many people play seriously? Okay. I used to be a serious ping pong player because I'm shorter than most people, most students. So only the ping pong is a way that shows the technique. But now you can see we hacked. So this is fish swimming. Then this is a way to create a comets. Also, this is a reward. If you continue the rally, the rightmost one, you can develop a thunderstorm. So this is social media before Facebook or Twitter. We did it. Then went to SIGGRAPH. And usually, ping pong is a zero-sum game. Make your opponent make a mistake to get the point. It's a very harsh competition, like a 10-year track or whatever. But I don't like it. But even you can mistake, then ball bounce, then make a water ripple. Everybody enjoy. Even mistake become part of the artistic expression. This went to Tokyo, Japan, and also Center Pompidou. And students really happy because they can go to Tokyo and Paris, play ping pong, then go to wine bar. Anyway, so these are a bit embody interaction, but these are tangible bits we've done in the first 15 to 20 years. But then I realized atoms are frozen. Atoms means this table or this podium or this material. Frozen means it doesn't change the shape. Of course, in 100 years it dissolves. But currently, frozen atoms or intangible pixel, like this is a pixel behind photons, but you can't really manipulate. Also, I'm controlling only next slide. Then radical atoms is a new class of the materials. It's physical, computational, and dynamic. So we envision, but it's very difficult to communicate. And this is a complete vision, very abstract. Then started, okay, let's do shape display. Then let's apply for tangible telepresence. How many people saw the video? Oh, not so many. This became popular. You should check. But being here, being in Virginia Tech, also being, say, London, is our dream. If you have traveling, then you want to celebrate your kid's birthday, opening a book from London, for example. So anyway, over distance, telepresence is our dream. So we brought the tangible technology, radical atoms, as a means to materialize this vision. And this is basically robots. Then you can do also CAD kind of stuff. And I know you guys do 3D printing, but the most 3D printing stuff go to the landfill. But here you see constraints are being satisfied. This bar chart is still live computing. So if you can make a reprogrammable stuff, you don't need to really trash it. You can test. This is the difference of the printing versus radical atoms. Then everything is a mathematical equation. Also, you can sit on them, then deform it. The machine can detect all the changeable shape. So these are new materials. Also, rendering. Rendering usually means show in a computer screen, but now rendering can be both physical world and the digital world. This is maybe 11 years old work, but made a quite a good impact. Then we combine. Do you know triptych? How many other artists? I love triptych and a lot of the religious paintings using stuff. Also Francis Bacon. So we made a kinetic triptych using a transform. The red ball is a frozen atoms. White pins are radical atoms. They are dancing, or they look like dancing, but not. They're not communicating, loving, just mechanical. But still people perceive they are in love, they're dancing. That's the beauty of the human perception. We did a lot of the artistic expression, also scientific simulation of tsunami, earthquake, and all the stuff, but this is a... Then biologic is another example. How many people love natto? Fermented soybeans, natto. You like natto? Oh, great. Not so many people, except for Japan, but we use a natto bacteria, Bacillus subtilis natto, as a relatively humidity sensors, also actuator. So living, this is a real bacteria, living bacteria. Then we use print on the all the flap of the garment we designed. This is a breathing second skin, wrapping body, then breathe based on the sweat you generate. So with the atomic force microscope, because very expensive equipment, but we can borrow in the MIT. Then measuring about the change of the shape for write a paper for science. They require all the data stuff. But then we built the printer, liquid printer, because 20 years ago there's no such things. So we had to build everything from scratch, but deposit exact amount of the liquid, contain exact amount of bacteria into target point of the garment. Then next is so you can really see bioscience and also the design, fabrication, but also another science is a physiology, because each dancer has a different heat map and the sweat map. So we measured the Boston Ballet dance company's heat map. Then based on, we did a simulation. What is the ideal ventilation that she can perform best? Then we calculated, simulated, then sending a command to the printer to deposit exact amount of bacteria in target position. Then, yeah, it sounds very complex, and it's very complex. But in the end, it's become quite beautiful, because human dancing is one of the most beautiful forms of the stuff. And so base bioscience and design, fabrication, all the stuff. But the vision-driven design always penetrate, starting with vision, radical atoms, but also application, material, technology. That's the difference from design thinking or speculative design, because it's not a speculation, it's a real. Then also important things, the vision, bio is a new interface. That's something we came up. Nicolas Negroponte said, everything became a computer science, because code, because gene sequencing, all the stuff. Then that's a transformation. Then this exhibition, now radical atoms moving. It's a demo, functional demo. Then this is a printer we created. This is what nature gave us as a gift. Then this is a model of a human. Then you can blow the hot air, then changing. But it's boring. It's a functional demo. Most of the demo is just technical proof of concept, but it's boring because it's not real. So then we have a celebration of 30th anniversary of Media Lab. So with a glass of champagne, inviting real dancers. Then she mentioned something very interesting. When she's dancing, she feels a change of airflow, which also makes her change way to dance. Then she felt like she's dancing with bacteria. You never file the patent, you never write a Kai paper for this poetic stuff, but that's something I care. Hope you understand. That's an important part, seriously. Also, you are now on floor because gravity, but gravity sucks, because you take it for granted, but you never think about, if I can cancel, control the gravity, what would happen? But you already saw the movie, Interstellar. Have you saw the movie Interstellar? It's beautiful. Anti-gravity. Also you or your kids may travel interstellar kind of stuff. Then gravity is something you have to control or artificially generate. So how many people do jaywalk? Jaywalk, it means cross the red light. I do it because we know physics. Car is so far away. I never hit Also, I never make anything trouble. So life is short. I cross the street. That's the way people live it. So my point is, we invented a material called xenon. You can put it in the air. It's float. Number 2, computer knows exact location. Number 3, computer can move it. Then you can use xenon as a new material to make a chair or table. Then you can float in the air, which is very scary, but the conceptually it's possible. So these are all kind of way to people think very differently about the material. But now it's become real because interstellar travel. And so important things are art, science, technology, design, each of a different language. So I think artists work with engineer is not good enough because engineer does not really necessarily contribute to the artist concepts or philosophy. And artists may not really understand how many ink you need to paint entire wall, how many hours you need for soldering stuff. You need to really speak all the language. Then you have to have a vision which can be translatable to all the 4 dimensions. But if you get the tenure, another dimension is business. You have to fundraising. So that's another how to translate the money. But anyway, this is very seriously important. Then I love a Bruegel. How many people saw Bruegel's Tower of Babel? This is a Kunsthistoric Museum in Vienna, and it's very beautiful, but I mapped the spiral. So art, design, science, technology, come up with the idea, translate into all the language, then keep discussing, then spiral, transcending to whatever. Yeah. So I think that is a diagram which I showed it. So now I'd like to change gear to the final vision called TeleAbsence, which maybe most radical and the most abstract and the most crazy, and Anna is nodding, and that's true. But we started. So TeleAbsence, fundamentally, these 3 important things. Absence, the highest form of the presence, James Joyce. Absence matters, not the presence. People die twice, first when they die, when they are forgotten. Oblivion is something we are very scared. Today I saw amazing archaeological VR stuff, but many people are gone, forgotten. Like, yeah, so how to remember is good. Also, I want to always remember you. You means my mom who passed away. Also, I want to always be remembered by you. You are here. So if you remember, if you inspire some aspect of your future research, that makes me very happy. But when you inspired, I'm already gone, but at least I'm looking at you guys from heaven. Okay, let's go. Then TeleAbsence is the opposite of telepresence. I've done telepresence work before my move to MIT, 1995. This is a ClearBoard. I know many architects do the drafting table. Any architects here who use a drafting table in your career? Oh, good. So it's gone, but now you can see me talking, but you can see my gaze. You can clearly see where I'm looking at. That is called gaze awareness, beyond eye contact. Today, still you don't have eye contact in Zoom, Teams, or Meets, for example. And but now we have a gaze awareness. I'm an Asian and I'm shy, so I can talk everything in English, but non-verbal cues are important to be understood, to be mindful. So gaze is so important, non-verbal cue, why I'm look away or why I'm looking down. So that is one thing. Then also we talked about connecting people important. Then in touch is one example, also tangible telepresence. But these are all the telepresence, means real time. Then both are living. But if one person die, what happened? At the beginning of TeleAbsence. So there are a lot of interesting instruments around us, which can be a memory conduit of the medium to convey the memory or remembering stuff. So we really focus onto the piano in the end, but absence, the highest form, the presence, is something very, very profound. How many people read James Joyce? Good. I happened to be in the Dublin this May for the conference. Then we went to the literature of the museum. Then I met him, and it's very, very moving. And also people die twice. Oblivion is something very, very scared. And many people, when they die in far away from home, my dad was the soldier of Japanese army. then recruited in Manchuria. Then after war ended, the Russia invaded to Manchuria, violating treaties of the no invasion. But then he was captured and went to Lagery. Do you know Lagery? Lagery, Siberia, concentration camp, labor camp, and that's kind of hell. But because after the war, he was not really treated as a prison even after he came back. But he survived and came back to Japan. And but many his colleagues died in the Siberia. And everybody said, please let my family or loved one know I was here, I died, I'm buried here. That's a fundamental desire. So that also when my mom cooked the fish, he ate everything. It was a bone. He ate head, guts, and all the stuff. Then I told my dad, why is it nasty stuff? You can eat it. But now I understand. First, if you see this is edible in first 500 milliseconds, the next 500 milliseconds, if you don't jump in, eat, you will be dead. That's a hell. He experiences. Then question is, have you ever experienced the starving? Maybe not. We are happy because we are so rich. But intellectually, social contribution, do you have this kind of hunger, thirsty? That's something I talking to my students, also myself, and hope it makes sense. Anyway, don't forget. Then presence or absence is something very fundamental concept starting. Do you know Hiroshima shadow? No, not so many people. How many people saw Oppenheimer? Oppenheimer, it's a result, Oppenheimer. You mean atomic bomb exploded in Hiroshima, 1945. The lady waiting for the opening of Sumitomo Bank absorbed the heat. Then her silhouette became a black shadow. Then other part became a white. So this is the most such presence of absence. So that's really inspired all of us. Then we started how to really materialize presence of absence to remember the people or events happened in our history. Also, my colleague, Ha-Yoon Noor, she's also collaborating with Ara, told me understanding the concept of telepresence has, in a magical way, enhanced my perception of my grandma's presence in her absence. She has a very strong connection to grandma who took care of her. Then I feel her much closer than ever before. So that's part of telepresence, not a machine, not a utility, but knowing this concept, people feel much more closer to your loved one. So I really appreciate these comments. If you're interested, you can capture. You can take photos if you like. This is a good idea because this is journal papers, and also the RI is a courses. And also another important thing is a teleabsence moment. Later we show the piano, but teleabsence moment, everybody has this moment. Feel the ghostly presence of loved one, your grandma, grandpa, or somebody who are gone. But when wind blows, then leaves flying, or butterfly flying, you may think it might be some sign of the people sending a signal, and also which happened in my life, and white birds, and also blue butterflies, and all the symbol. So you interpret, then reconnect it. It's enriched. Then I like a poem. How many people on the Facebook? How many people in the LinkedIn? Encourage you to, if you like those kind of story, it's uploaded so you can see. And my poem, which inspired teleabsence moment. And this is a survey for teleabsence. And this also interesting, which inspire you to remember who you miss when you feel the presence. Then would you like to communicate to her or him? Then also would you like to hear something that they acknowledge, they received your signal. Of course, dead people cannot respond at all, but this is a very interesting illusory communication we are working on. So if you are interested about this vision, please take this survey, not for me, but also for yourself. You can really remember loved one you never remember so often. Then it's me, and my fundamental wish is I want to always remember you. my mom. I was sitting in the cart. I'm sure I must felt her heartbeat coming through this one. Also, my dad has a camera, so maybe beam might have something called love, for example, but nothing I can really feel, but still I remember. So I think this is a fundamental desire or human condition. Also, this is very universal. It doesn't matter, anybody have those kind of desire, I feel. Does anybody speak Portuguese? Oh, good. Are you from Portugal?
I'm from Brazil.
Huh?
I'm from Brazil.
Oh, Brazil, great. You raised hands so many times, like abacus and so we have to talk more. But saudade is a desire for the beloved people, thing, moment, place, made painful by its absence. It's gone. Your friends of first love, you lost contact. Even you can't remember the face or voice, but still you remember some heartbeat you had when you were in the elementary school, perhaps. Or teacher encouraged you to study English to come to US, but all gone. So saudade is something very profound notion. We don't have enough correct word in English, but I hope you can understand this one. So loneliness is a big issue because people are happy and let's make a better world is nice, but too optimistic or not so realistic. People are fundamentally so lonely, lost so many things. Even together, you cannot really share because everything is based on the under the water of the iceberg. Your life experience different. Even sending message, I love you. What do you mean love? You say I love you forever, it's a lie. Either dies first. So important things we have to be faced with stuff. And loneliness is a pandemic. Something I try to tackle it. And also London has a minister of the loneliness. Do you know it? UK. The interesting report. That's a big issue. Also Scandinavia, because people are so isolated, living far away. I'm an artist. Once more, who is an artist? You should share your painting or sculpting or poem, whatever. But when COVID-19 crisis hit, Cambridge was locked down, so I only could walk in the evening. Then with a Sony camera, this camera, okay, can you take a photo? Okay, I smile. So this camera she holds, then making a slow shutter, then pointing the moon, then move it. So this kind of a creation, it's a fun. So it's a moon painting. So moon became a paintbrush. It's just a play, but I always try to really find something make me excited for creators or artists or artwork. And then I really like this poem, Bokusui Wakayama. This is the best poem I found about loneliness, solitude. White bird, are you not sad? You drift, never died by the navy blue of the sea or the sky's blue. This is a white bird I saw in east part of the Hokkaido, north island of Japan. I traveling by myself using a youth hostel and also the JR pass, bit like a URail pass. Also, I travel a lot in a URail pass, Thomas Cook timetable when I was young, do the watercolor painting, writing poem by myself. That really helps me to really, understand those stuff. But being white, never become blue, is something very, very beautiful pictorially. So hope you can imagine yourself. So important things people do not really, you guys young, most people, except for senior faculty, close to retire. And but important once in a life encounters. I'm very happy to meet you guys. Also ask many people to come to here. I'm so happy room is full. Originally I'm scared. Somebody said that maybe we have 20 people. Oh my gosh, my class has 100 people. But anyway, nice to come in because the impact is so different seeing myself. Also, you can talk to me and you can grab me for coffee or whatever. But I may not meet you again by many reasons. I may hit by car or I may become sick or not so much opportunity. So when you meet, you have to really maximize the give and, not the give and take, but the exchange of energy. That's the whole reason I really wanted to come here to meet students because you're the future. because I'm gone soon, maybe in 10 years lifespan, but you have another 80 years life, then you can bring the torch to for future seriously. Then when you get stuck, you may remember something like this one. Also, love is an illusion. And if you meet, you have to part. That's fundamental principle. You cannot be forever together. Of course, you want to say so when you're young, to propose to your fiance or stuff, but that's a lie, because every mind changes, value system changes. Nobody can make other people happy for 80 years. It's impossible, as you know. Because sorry, hope I'm not disappointing you about the dream of the marriage. Marriage is wonderful, but very bitter. And so anyway, these are two important fundamental stuff. How many people are from China? Good. Oh, not so many people. Okay, interesting. How about M.I.T? Like 60% of the Chinese. Then also majority is women. They're very good designer. But they said that this character is very universal also in China. This is a bit different one, but these are ideographic characters called kanji in Japan, but still people can infer the meaning. It's a beauty of the semantics. Also pronunciation is totally wrong, but I really enjoy. Then this is the vision of past and afterlife telepresence, that telepresence paper that I co-authored. I was many people, including Pat, JB, Xiao, Ara, Haiyun, and Lucy, and all are very happy. But this red guy is me walking towards my grave. So I think 10 years, or at most 20 years of life, I'm gone. But I still remember vaguely the first love. Do you remember first love? Can you say who is your first love person? Then was it really love? Because when young, you have a very superficial love, excitement. But it's interesting. Then you can't decide which one's the real love. But also another question comes: what is last love? Last love is a more complex stuff. Last love means you have to feel energy to fall in love. Also, you have to meet somebody attractive or inspire you. Also, you have to be alive. You're dead. There's no last love. Maybe last time might already happen past. These are thought experiments. But if any words, I saw that in the app, I saw the clock, inverse clock, changing position of sun, inverse. So always reversing is a very good way to think something creatively. But then also this teacher in junior high school encouraged me to study English. I never thought I'd come here, but US. But I want to meet him, but he's, I think, gone. And also my family, and then my students. So how I can live longer after my death, being remembered. Being remembered is giving some meaningful inspiration to you guys through video you are kindly recording, which might be public. Many people may see it, or you guys remember. And also whatever, when you really get into the up and down, down, I really wanted to remember something I talked today. So being remembered, oblivion, how to prolong second death is my dream. And it's very crazy. It's not scientific. It's more artistic or religious, philosophical, but I'm very excited. So this is more simplified drawing. So now you see space. Zoom, you can overcome space. That's a telepresence, like a ClearBoard I did. But now I try to across time, how to remember your childhood, also be remembered your ancestors, descendants. So those kind of stuff. Also, another very important thing is pseudo presence. Ghostbot, deathbot, generative AI. You can create any dead people coming back to life, then speaking, gesturing, facial expression, which never happened. That's against my aesthetics, not respectful. So we never go to that area. But the TeleAbsence and the pseudo presence has very interesting tension. We try to submit the panel to the Kai conference about stuff. How many people are Buddhist? Good. I'm learning. Tell me if I'm wrong. But the emptiness is something very important stuff. Empty is not nothingness. Empty has a meaning. Silence. I'm keep talking, but if I stop talking, it has a meaning. Also painting. is some white space or unfinished space that also has important meaning. So also Japanese kabuki or no, really use this emptiness very clever, but also every art use this kind of stuff. Then impermanence, everything changing. No, nice to meet you today, but tomorrow I might be gone. So that's a reality. So constantly changing. This moment may not last long. So these two really guiding. Then TeleAbsence design principle. We have 5 principles in the paper. Then I will talk about the presence of absence using a Hiroshima shadow. That's the most sad, powerful shadow of the presence. But also wind phone is another instance. How many people know wind phone? Great. Wind phone is a phone booth that Mr. Sasaki built in Otsuchi City in Tohoku to call to his cousin. But the telephone is not connected any wire, so just speak. But the next year, Tohoku earthquake, tsunami hit, many people died. Then people start coming to talk to the dead peoples, even foreign country. 45,000 people came 2 years ago, but also many people make a replica of this windfall, US and Europe. So fundamentally, people looking for the means to talk to, even no response. That really convinced me illusory communication is a very powerful desire. Let me show the music bottles. This is a piece I did 1998. Clear glass bottles, like a genie bottles or perfume bottle. If you open, then you will see that music coming out. But originally, I want to reason or dream to give a gift to my mom. It's a blue bottle, has a weather forecast. Now you see birds singing. So when she wakes up, rather than sitting waiting for TV, I want her open the box. Then today is a fine day. She may wake up and washing and laundry kind of stuff. But she died 1998. So I was so sad. Then I put the music into the bottles. So always people miss somebody. I miss you. I want to talk to you. I want to hear from you. I can talk to her through the photos, but I can't hear from her. But after TeleAbsence, I feel maybe she might be talking through the form of the white butterfly flying around me, which makes me so happy. So I think TeleAbsence really opened certain kind of a channel to the communication to the deceased loved one. It's all imagination, not real, but I care a lot. So this is a calligraphy she did. I etched into the pink stone. Then every time I go to graveyard, I can start seeing her body because calligraphy is dance. Then her make ink, then landing from the sheet of paper. So I can clearly image ghostly presence of her body in front of the calligraphy. That's the power. I feel the energy or brush stroke. So that's calligraphy is powerful. Then after 10 years, she died. Twitter came, so I made a tomb of her in the Twitter sphere. She wrote a lot of poems celebrating my entering university or lamenting death of her brother. And but I made a Twitter bot because I really don't remember her so busy except for anniversary day. So I hate myself. But then Twitter bot randomly bring her poem, which makes warp time. Then start thinking, oh, why my mom wrote this poem? What might her thinking or emotion? It's totally random, but I feel some reason she sent this message. That's the Twitter power of the Twitter point, but the miracle happens. And all of a sudden, in the anniversary day of my mom death, flowers are delivered by my followers. I have 30,000 followers. Then they talk the story to my mom, saying this is the flowers just opened in my garden, which my father took good care. By the way, my father is the same age as your son, is me. Then I was very moved and cried. She's not dead. it's not only me talking to her, but other people also talking. So that's a beginning, I believe, TeleAbsence. So we explore many different tangible medium, but we very much interested about today I talk the piano piece, which is the latest piece, so that we always care about art and science. And Dr. Xiao Xiao is amazing. She happened to be in TMG last week. We have all the good conversation. She's now professor in Paris, IFT, but she's a pianist, evening play piano, daytime computer scientist, hacking using a computer screen. But she saw the hard reflection in the piano. Then she thought she can live forever in piano. So now, ghost of Xiao Xiao and the real Xiao Xiao are duetting. Also, we came up vision. Maybe young Xiao Xiao can live in the piano, then interact with grown-up Dr. Xiao Xiao. But actually, this young Xiao Xiao is my daughter, Alisa, when she was cute, but not anymore cute. That's a problem. And because, yeah, anyway. So, but the tiny hands. So, do you want to meet yourself in 7 years old, then communicate, draw together, play piano? So now it's 21 years old Alisa in the Barnard College. She doesn't talk to me except for she needs a credit card or Netflix password. Yeah, but the tiny Alisa was so cute. Always she come with me to any restaurant. But anyway, I know you are good daughters and son for parents. But now you can see. Also, she stopped playing piano. It's embarrassing. Young Alisa can play piano, but grown up. So meeting the past self is very crazy but interesting. That's part of the TeleAbsence vision. Then Marvin Minsky, if you know AI, Marvin is the father of AI. Then he did a play, improvisation of the fugue. Then he also left his ghost into the mirror fugue. Then before he let Marvin Minsky really gone, he also faced with a ghost, then playing together fugue. And we recreate this one in a memory service, and everybody cried. It's very different from looking photos or YouTube video, but sitting piano, because he was sitting on chair on which you can sit, then face with. Then keys moving because player piano. Then, how many people know Ryuichi Sakamoto? Our friend. He came to our lab 2013. Then Xiao Xiao played Eric Satie. Then Ryuichi Sakamoto naturally starting a duet. So this duet really convinced us that this is an illusory communication. Xiao Xiao still alive, but this is recorded Xiao Xiao playing with Ryuichi Sakamoto. So maybe we can extend beyond the lifespan. Then Ryuichi Sakamoto office kindly allowed me to use this video clip from their album, last album called Opus. Have you ever listened to the Opus? It's beautiful. I'm listening every week. And he played one music one day because he's dying. He has a real limitation, but pushing, saying, "Oh, tough." But I can see he's breathing, but he recorded to the all the stuff into the one beautiful album. So then he died 2023. So we recreated the mirror fugue in the M.I.T Media, inviting Xiao Xiao and also Haiyun and also Ara, you are there, and all the people get together, inviting 25 pianists, including the family of the Marvin Minsky. But now you can invite him from heaven to this piano. Then some people felt very emotionally, but they didn't know he died. Then after the land is died, all the arousal come, and so important things we can really do. Important things. Also, some people did a duet, and some pianists cried because they're big serious fan of the Ryuichi Sakamoto. So Ryuichi is dead. It's not a real Ryuichi interacting, but you have an illusion as if you're doing something together, communicating and interacting, creating. That is a goal of TeleAbsence to mitigate the pain or loneliness. So these are TeleAbsence, mirror fugue, and I'd like to really wrap up. Sorry for the time, but Alan Kay really helped me to shape a lot of ideas. Future is not predict to invent, but you need to do three things: envision, embody, inspire. Then art really matters. Art really helps, and the philosophy help us to come up vision. Also to inspire people, it's not a utility, not a G index, H index, or number of the patent. In the end, artistic value, as this of the biologic. So design, science, technology, all important, but fundamentally art really matters, which also Mark Weiser said and Alan Kay said. So you should take art seriously. Also, you should be an artist. So people ask, who am I? And people ask, are you an engineer, scientist, or designer, or whatever? But I'm so tired, so I decided to call myself stargazer. Stargazer is looking up at the sky, then dreaming, and like a visionary. But we have an invention of a telescope, then having all the observatory in the high mountains. But the important thing is Hubble Space Telescope left Earth, then went to the universe, then look the new spaces. So your eyes are stuck in the heads. But this departure is very important. Also Voyager, I love Voyager. Voyager looking Earth, ourselves. This reflection is something so important. Also, she travels long distance over solar system using gravitational slingshot. Do you know gravitational slingshot? You have to find a person you really admire, like a big star, Jupiter or Mars. Then aim, but don't collide. Then cross, then gain energy, then changing a direction. That's the way university exists, to meet all people. And I'm not sure I'm big enough or heavy enough as a star, but gravitational slingshot is very important metaphor of encounter once in a life, and then the Mars, but also James Webb Space Telescope bring a new kind of paradigm. So your research should also do this kind of the role. Problem, people could only see the world from their own perspective. Bias, prejudice, or narrow perspective, but working together, understanding, see the world from your friends. I love to go to museum with my friends or students. Then each student have different comments. Then I can understand this art more deeper, but also I can understand her value system better. So it's very, very important practice. Then world changing, say AI. You need a holistic perspective, but you can't catch up all the new LLM, which comes every week. But also you have to have a heuristic focus. Life is short. PhD is only 4 years in MIT. I don't know how many years you can spend, but you have to focus. Then you have to really finish it. So I think this balance is important. So I really encourage to enhance, expand, also escape. So then become a good stargazer. Hope it makes sense. Oh, okay, it's time to take photos. You can take photo. You don't take any photo. It's interesting, but anyway, that's fine. Then final remarks. It's very important. What I'm doing is two things: invent and inspire. Invent is radically new, bold vision and idea, which might be patentable or publishable. But the most important, inspire. Am I really inspiring my audience? That really matters, because that's the way that the people can continue to the vision. Then three things I always think is very important: be artistic and analytic, be poetic and pragmatic, then be romantic and realistic. Poetic is very important. Tell a narrative, story. Story is all about even business and stuff. Also, I talk about Twitter poets, my mom's Twitter bot. That's a story, but many people don't understand why Hiroshi is so crazy about TeleAbsence, then seeing Ryuichi Sakamoto. But also romantics important. Frames of yesterday. Have you ever heard the word frames of yesterday? The fire in your heart when you fell in love, for example, excited about a new project, for example. When we are young, we have a lot of the frames, but become yesterday, like a fireworks of the distance past, for example. But the firework is one moment, but shed the light, then your loved one might be next to you, then all the face become visible, but it's gone. So that I think it's very, very important to think about romantic, what you make so romantic, they're excited, and that kind of a love is something so fundamental. Also lost love and the saudade and the TeleAbsence. So 2200 is very important symbol. I always talk in the end. Life has set endpoint. We are dying, but the future is never ending. To that future, we are responsible. You are responsible. Your death is not the end of the life. Then technology you love becomes obsolete. This is something you should remember. Then true vision is everlasting, timeless. So is your research really timeless or just ephemeral? So that's something the important question for PhD, also I think job hunting. So 2200, then I ask two questions to you guys. What legacy do you wish to leave for those living in 2200? How do you want to be remembered? Then with number 2200, I end my talk. Thank you very much for your kind attention. Great. Once more. Thank you. Also, I have a few bonus slides, if you don't mind. And I really want to thank to the students who helped our staff, because mind sharing, my responsibility to show the pond, fresh water, like tangible radical atoms. Nobody's there, but we are fast, pioneer, envision. Then they can swim freely. Whatever problem you can find, apply tangible bits or TeleAbsence vision. And so that they really helped me to shape this kind of future. And also, this is a kind of additional stuff. And I get 300 applicants for every year, but I can admit only 1 or 2 because I have to fully support stipend tuition. That makes me so depressed, declaring 299 amazing students. So that I'm doing a fundraising in Japan and everywhere. But if you know anybody, grandpa, grandma who have a gold mine in your home, then think about the good use of the stuff. This is a QR code. If you can capture, it's nice. And even small, it's great, but fundraising is important because I want to admit 1 more student, then return to society. That is my mission and vocation. So please help us. Then we will talk about the papers. Papers are important. Then I also talk my concluding stuff, mom. Okay, thanks again.